Hey everyone, CADD Music Reviews here. I am CADD and this is going to be a music review of the new Sarah Neufeld album, The Ridge. Sarah Neufeld is a singer-songwriter, violin extraordinaire, and this is her latest full-length album, I believe her sophomore album. She, in terms of quality, hit it big last year when she collaborated with saxophonist, multi-instrumentalist Colin Stetson on the collaborative Sarah Neufeld, Colin Stetson album, Never the Way She Was. That was a really dark, minimalist album, featuring a lot of really esoteric yet accessible instrumentals, and it was really haunting what they were doing on that album together. They both are very peculiar instrumentalists, compositionalists, and performers. What they would have been doing separately would have been not as unique if they have not come together, and I think that's very peculiar. So, we have this new album from Sarah Neufeld, and we also have another album from Colin Stetson coming in April called Sarah, which I do plan on checking out. So right now we have this new album from Sarah Neufeld, The Ridge. It's got maybe a couple of moments where Colin Stetson is on it. As far as the album is concerned, I think it's really good. I mean, it's not as good as Never Were the Way She Was, but this was a particularly enjoyable experience in Neufeld fusing the esoteric with the accessible. Now, this is about an 8-track affair. It doesn't overstay its welcome, and it pretty much follows in suit with what Never Were the Way She Was doing. But this is not like a dark, mysterious, and creepy adventure. This is more of a echoey, canyon-like sonic experience. And you pretty much get that idea with the opening track, The Ridge, which has like these really free-flying violin, which there's plenty of on this album, and it builds for a whole 6 minutes before it kind of just leaves itself in a moment of euphoria as Neufeld's vocals come in. I'm not too fond of her singing, not like the ooh stuff that goes up. I actually like that. It's more like her actually trying to sing lyrics. I don't think it complements the sound that this album as a whole is trying to go for, and that seems to be the case on The Ridge, We've Got a Lot, and The Brief, They All Come Down, which is my least favorite track on the album, because number one, it's brief, and two, it's mostly just singing, and not that she's a bad lyricist, it's just that I'm not that crazy about what she's saying. I mean, there's no bad track on the album except for They All Come Down. It's not a bad track, it's just kind of brief for its own good. But then it comes together with 5 tracks that I certainly enjoy a lot. The Glow actually takes her violin and makes it all pizzicato, and the sheer percussion-like string play seems to go along with the drumming. I certainly like the way this track goes on for 7 minutes without sounding grating or anything. But I think my favorite track on the album is A Long-Awaited Scar. It's 9 minutes long, and it's really beautiful how it builds so well. It's kind of a patience tester with like the first half, but I think the violin playing is really good though. I especially enjoy these flourishes that are on this track and numerous tracks on this album, certainly. And then when it finally gets to that second half, the drumming comes in more, like the violin gets like do 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 do. Yeah, the violin just gets all up and down, up and down. Her vocals come in to like add to like these tension. There's like something about these builds that come up on this album that I certainly enjoy a lot. It's not like it builds and then like collapses. It's like builds and then goes back to its normal dynamic and then builds again and goes back in this normal dynamic. I think that really adds tension to this track and many other tracks on this album. Another favorite of mine is From Our Animal, which I'm not sure if Colin Stetson is on this track, but if he is, this combination of violin playing and sax playing kind of playing in tandem with each other is ingeniously well crafted. It's actually crazy. It goes along with this canyon and ridge-like atmosphere that it's trying to go for, and it really keeps me on my toes on who's going to be trading next. Or maybe it's just Sarah Neufeld really able to just take different tones of violin and have them sound like 2 separate instruments, which is really intriguing if that is the case. And then there's like this closing track where the light comes in, where it's kind of a slow burner. It's kind of like an outro. I wouldn't say it drones, it just sustains and like really just gives you this calm right after the various amounts of flourishes these overall instrumental performances give you. So yeah, I'm definitely into this album. I just wish that like a few of the tracks were a bit more fleshed out. And if she is going to incorporate singing in terms of just actual lyrics on this album, she needs to make that more upfront instead of just like off in the background as it's being swallowed by these instrumental compositions. Still, I enjoy a good bit of these compositions. I don't think it's going to be a favorite by the end of the year, but this is definitely a favorite of mine for the month. This album is a plus 1.8 out of plus 3. This was really a pretty enjoyable album if you like your minimalism or neoclassical, or if you just like violin music, or if you're already like a huge fan of Arcade Fire and you want to see what Sarah Neufeld's been doing, since she has lent a lot of contributions to Arcade Fire. Definitely look into this album. If you have definitely looked into this album, what did you think of it? Did you like this album? Did you dislike this album? What was your reasoning for that, and what should I consider reviewing next? And how many times this little girl gonna keep barging in on my reviews? How many? This is CWD Music Reviews here, signing off.